Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Anushka, and if you're new here, on this channel we do random makeup videos and some random stuff that I care about. So if you want to check more of my videos, you can just subscribe to my channel. But in today's video, I'm going to show you how to achieve this glowy non-cakey base routine. And without further ado, let's get started. So I have zoomed you guys a little bit in so that you can see my skin in reality. I have a few bumps you can see right here and all over my face, and texture is pretty normal, so don't worry about that. Even if you have texture, your makeup can be non-cakey too. But obviously if you have dry patches, it's gonna look a little bit cakey, or you have applied something. So make sure that you have moisturized your skin before you begin your base, because moisturizing is a very important step in your base routine. So I have moisturized my skin really well. So the next step would be primer. So I'm going to be using this Fit Me matte and poreless primer. For me, poreless primer works the best because I have combination skin and I have a lot of texture and pores on my nose. So a poreless primer is just gonna even out your whole skin, and it just works best because it's a smooth base, so what can go wrong? Okay guys, so the next step is gonna be the foundation, and if you guys see that my eyes are getting red, it's because I have severe cold. So don't worry about it, like it's just something that happens to me when I get cold. So yeah, I have already done my brows prior to filming, because I'm not doing anything to my brows as of now. So my brows are just I've just applied some brow gel and that's it. So let's move on to the foundation. I am using the Maybelline Superstay matte foundation because that's something that works the best for me. You can use any foundation that works the best for you. Now you have to see the placement of foundation really well, because that is really important when it comes to non-cakey base, because foundation is the first layer that you apply, and it's the first thing that is gonna start making your face look different and start making it look a little bit cakey. So always take just a few dots at a time, and then I always start from the downward section of my face, because it's just easier to blend upwards than going downwards, because the makeup looks dragged when it's like downwards. Now the best thing that you can use not to make your makeup look very obvious and cakey is to use a beauty blender or a sponge rather than using a brush. Even brush gives a good finish, but if you're not, if your hands are not trained in handling a brush, you can have those drag lines or those brush marks or brush strokes that gets left behind. So yeah, I always start by dabbing my foundation pretty well. It's a damp beauty blender, that's also something that you have to make sure that you have. Now I'm just taking a little bit of foundation on my sponge directly from my hand, and then just building the coverage up, because I have a little bit of pigmentation here and I would like that to disappear. So I'm just gonna dab it. Okay, so you can see that this side is done and this side is not. You can definitely see a difference between the two sides, and when you work in smaller parts, what you tend to do is you don't use a lot of foundation. You end up using foundation that you need. When you apply dots all over your face, you are probably going to use more foundation than you actually need. So let's start with the next side again, starting with the the lower portion of my face, just dabbing a few dots, and I'm going to start blending. Just dab it rather than dragging the foundation or anything. Again, like I said, that I have a little bit of pigmentation here and on this side too. I'm gonna take a little bit of foundation directly from my hand and just apply a little bit more here, again dabbing the foundation in rather than dragging it. or anything. Taking the rest of the foundation that is already on my sponge, and I'm gonna just apply a light layer on my mustache area and around my mouth. Now, as I told you guys, that nose is the part where I have the most texture. So I tend to apply less foundation there. Even on my forehead, I apply lesser foundation, because when you're doing those areas, you need to see that, where is the most texture and creases. Your forehead is the portion that is gonna get the most creased, because you make a lot of expressions throughout the day. So if you're someone who makes a lot of expressions, you should apply less foundation to your forehead. So I'll just apply like 2 to 3 dots, because I don't like that forehead creases. They just look weird, and that's how you know that you're wearing a lot of makeup, and that's how it looks really cakey. And I'm gonna apply just a dot on my nose, and I'm just gonna blend it out. Another way to make your foundation really look like skin, or like skin like, you should definitely blend your foundation in your hairline thoroughly too, because you can just, like, even if the foundation is the best match to your skin, you do have a little bit pigment in the foundation, so it should not look separated from your hairlines. Again, the neck goes, the same thing goes for the neck. So because I'm wearing a turtleneck, I'm not gonna do that. But if you're wearing something that reveals your neck, and if you think that your skin tone looks a little bit different from your neck, you should definitely apply a little bit foundation on your neck too. So I have like this much foundation left on my face. I just used one pump, and you can see that there is a lot of foundation left, and my whole face is already, it looks good, and I've already applied my foundation. So yeah, you don't need a lot of foundation to cover your whole face. You just need to work on parts rather than just applying foundation everywhere and then blending it out. And sometimes the foundation will get dry. It's just easier to blend out foundation in parts rather than applying it on whole face and then just trying to blend it out. So yeah, another thing before we move on to the next step, as you can see, I have not applied any foundation under my under eyes. That's because we are gonna apply concealer over there. So let's not apply a lot of cream products, because that is something that is gonna make your look cakey. So I'm gonna take my Fit Me concealer in the shade 40 Caramel, and I'm just gonna apply a little bit. You don't need a lot of concealer when you have already applied foundation everywhere. I just apply concealer, in the inner parts, and a little bit on my, under my lips, and a little bit on my pigmentation. I'm gonna sit for a while, like for 30 seconds, and let the concealer just set for a while and then blend it out. And that gives just, a little bit more coverage, because the concealer is gonna get a little bit dried out by then, and it's gonna stay in place. And I use a brush to blend my concealer rather than my beauty blender, because I just love the finish that a brush gives, in the concealer, and it doesn't absorb a lot of product. So I have the most coverage in the places where I need it. Okay guys, so it's been 30 seconds, and let's begin to blend the concealer. I'm just dabbing it, again, not dragging the product, just dabbing it into my skin. This is something that I learned from Wing It by Ankush. So basically, he showed this concealer technique where you just apply concealer to this portion of your eyes rather than the, this bulging part, because this part is actually, a area that has a little bit of depth. So you know, if it just looks really unnatural and it looks like you're wearing a lot of makeup even when you're just wearing a little bit of concealer. So he just showed applying concealer to this lower part and then blending it upwards rather than applying a lot of concealer. You know, the more product you use, the more cakier your makeup is gonna get. So the less you use, the better your base is gonna look. So yeah, I'm just gonna blend it out a little bit more. And yeah, that's my foundation and my concealer routine. Now let's get to the powdering part. Okay, guys, I have told you guys a lot of times that I love my Innisfree No Sebum Mineral Powder, but today we are gonna use the Fit Me powder just because I haven't used it in a while, and I'm gonna show you a new technique that I've been using for powdering my face, and it just is so simple and so good. I'm gonna use a hanky and or a napkin or whatever you wanna call it for my baking. Now I know it seems crazy, but trust me, I kid you not, it gives such a good finish and it doesn't look cakey at all. It gives me a finish better than you know, most of the brushes and the sponges that, you know, I own. So it's just a hack that I have, you know, started using and I'm loving it a lot. It just, you know, it actually, you know, just absorbs the excess product and leaves you with the most beautiful under eyes ever. If you touch them, they feel amazing. And it's just, you know, just dabbing your face with a tissue. You can definitely use a tissue or like, you know, anything that you want. But I really find this amazing because look at this. It's set and it doesn't, like, you know, it's transfer proof and it's amazing. I'm gonna do this to my whole face and I work in parts because that's how you know, it works really well. Just taking a little bit and just spreading it around, and I just love this hack. This hack is actually like just, you know, removing sweat from your face. So you're gonna, like, you know, just get rid of a little bit makeup, but your skin is gonna look so like natural and non-cakey. I have a little bit, like, you know, makeup on this. Now it is not like all my foundation, it is also the powder because this powder has color to it. So yeah, it adds a little bit more coverage and, you know, it makes my skin look really smooth and really soft. As you can see, like, you know, it's just amazing. I'm just gonna take my beauty blender and just go on my, you know, skin just once so that, you know, all that powder is just blended out perfectly. I'll just go over my lids too with this blender because it has a lot of product in it and I don't need to like apply concealer again to my eyelids because, you know, it's just like layering a lot of products. Now this is my face, that's how it looks right now. Let's move on to the other products that I love, that is blush, everybody. I don't use, like, you know, contour or bronzer in winters, so if you want to use that, that's totally up to you, but using powder products is better rather than using cream products. Although cream products blend really well, they tend to make the makeup cakey. So let's apply blush. I'm gonna take this and this color because these are my favorites during winter season, and I'm just gonna apply it. I tend to go a little heavy-handed on my blush, like, but you know, it's just something that I love to do. So, you know, I'm gonna apply a lot of blush because I love applying blush. So that is my blush. Now most of the powders have been applied to my skin and I haven't done my eyes yet. That is something that I'm gonna do off camera. But before that, let's apply highlighter, another one of my favorite steps. But before that, let's use some setting powder. So this is a dewy glow look setting powder. setting spray. So this just makes you look a little bit glowy, and applying highlighter on a setting spray is just amazing because the highlighter looks so beautiful. Just a few spritz, and then I'm gonna take my beauty blender again and just dab it. This will just end up blending everything out that is just a little bit uneven or unblended, and it just, gives the most beautiful finish ever. I love this. Now after this, let's move on to highlighter because we did not apply highlighter yet. So I'm gonna use this golden highlighter. I love golden highlighter, like this champagne-y golden color, and I'm gonna use this brush and just apply this. Can you see how beautiful the highlighter is looking on top of that setting spray? So yeah, that's why I apply setting spray. Now you can also like skip highlighter if you have a lot of texture, because highlighter does just accentuate your texture a little bit. As you can see, like I have a little bit of texture here, and it's looking a little bit textury. So if you don't mind the look, you can definitely like not skip highlighter. But sorry, if you mind the look, you can definitely skip the highlighter. If you don't like your texture, you can definitely skip the highlighter. But I don't mind, like, because I have texture, so what can we do about it? I don't mind like showing my texture a little bit, so I do not skip highlighter. I'm someone who applies a lot of highlighter because like highlighter is love. I just love the look of highlighter. So yeah, I tend to go a little bit crazy when I'm applying highlighter. So guys, that is my base all done. Let me just go off camera and complete my eyes, and I'll be right back with you. Okay guys, so I'm back with my eyes all done. I have done a little bit of orangey bronzy look, and I love this look a lot. It's just a classic look. And now I'm gonna apply some lippy. I'm gonna use this Maybelline Sensation Liquid Matte in the shade Made Easy, and I love this brown for my winter looks. So yeah. It looks a little bit reddish on camera, but trust me, it's brown. You can see that's the color, and again it looks reddish on camera, but it's brown. Okay guys, that was it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys like this base. I mean, this is like my favorite base, and my skin actually feels like I'm not wearing anything, because whenever you wear a lot of product, you can actually feel that you're wearing a lot of product. And with this base, it doesn't feel like I'm wearing a lot of product, and I feel amazing. So yeah, if you guys try this base out, let me know how you like it. And yeah, that's it for today's video. I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!